everybody, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Chris Yee.
I'm Zee Garcia.
Today we're talking about Dominion, the app, which has finally come out.
For iPhones. I've had it for a while.
You had a beta version.
I've had it for a while.
It finally came out.
Yeah. Dominion,
Hooray! You can get it now.
Dominion, the first deck building game, came out in 2008. And then, not too far after, there was a way to play it via text. I don't know if you guys remember this. Online.
No. What?
Yes.
Yeah,
What was that called? I forgot what it...
I remember there was Androminion. There has been a lot of unofficial.
Play it via texts.
It looked like an HTML
I'm saying,
script.
Yeah, it looked like an HTML script as you're playing. You would play this stuff. It would tell you what happened rather than show you. Yeah, I know. Then they came out with a very, very panned app about 8-9 years ago.
Okay.
That had a terrible in-game currency that wasn't the same. Like you couldn't buy you had to pay more money to buy all of it. It was a mess. And then they had this new one coming out that they've been promising for years. And we found out when it came out now, I got it, that the reason it took so long was because all 15 expansions are done. Which I would have been okay had they released it years ago and waited on some of the expansions, but whatever. You can get Dominion and all 15 expansions and all the promos, and in fact, possibly a new special card no one has, if you get it now or whatever. So when we go over this, we're going to assume you know a little bit about how to play Dominion. If you don't, I have a review of it here on this channel. It is a game that is in our top 100s.
It's sitting in our top 10s for the last few years, yeah.
And it's not in your top 100, but you like the game fine,
I like
right?
it fine, yeah.
So we'll take a look at the app. So I'm going to show you how it works. We'll be right back. Okay, I'm just going to show you a little bit here on the app. But the first thing I want to show you is if you go here, there's Profile, Friends, Learn. Learn is a pretty big deal. There's a tutorial here. And in this tutorial, you can go through and it has different things like how actions work. You can go here and it will show you that. But it also, as you can see, has tutorials for each of the expansions. So if I want to know what the special rules are in Empire, it's going to include them. It will talk about that and it will show you how to do it. You'll be able to play through the different things in the tutorial. So that's what it shows in the tutorial. Let's go back now to the actual game. So when you pick a new game, hey, I got a free card because I was already part of this. So when you play through a new game, first you'll go through here and pick the players. So this would be me, and you can go to your settings and change the picture. I don't really care what my picture is. Or guess, but I can also pick an AI, very easy, medium, hard. So let's say I pick medium. And here in Kingdom, this is where you can pick your cards. So you can go to here and pick your expansion. So this is, for example, the expansions I currently want to play with. The Base Intrigue, Seaside Prosperity, Renaissance Menagerie, Allies Plunder, promos. You can enable all of them. You can turn them on or off by clicking on them. You can also pick a specific card. Like I love to play with Black Market, so I can pick that. But I can pick any card I want. I can type it in here and pull that up. Or I can go to an expansion and click on that. You can look at all the cards here. These are the recommended sets that you can play with. Or I can just go through this and say, Dark Ages, I want to do this. Now you'll notice here in Dark Ages, some of these have these red symbols on them, these cross-out symbols. That's because you can click on a card and you'll see down here in the corner, you can ban that card or not. Some of them you can ban online, like you don't want to play against but only 5 of those. But for the AI, you can ban as many as you want. But you can also pick that card, and you'll see that card is going to show up here now to be played. You also can go in here. There's some strictness things that you can do. You can turn shelters on or off. You can put platinum on or off. You can have no attacks if you want to. I want some +2 action cards. You can have some specific things that you have here. And then under strictness, this is where you'll pick kind of the rules and what it lets you do or undo. So when you play the game, this is how your game's played. So these are some cards from the sets that I want to play. This is just a random selection except for Black Market. It's pretty easy. On your turn, you can just drag them up, or you could press the button on the side, and then I can buy something. So maybe here, for example, I'll buy a silver. And you'll notice that the opponent is playing, the computer is playing, but I could have started playing kind of while they were still going. So I'll buy a Secret Passage here. And see, I can press play treasures. Now, it won't let me go until they are completely done, but it's already letting me try to figure out what I want. So I'll buy this quarry here. So now at the beginning of my turn, you'll notice drag up to play an action card. I can drag this up. It's +2 cards, +1 action. Take a card from your hand and put it anywhere in your deck. So you can see that that's up the top. My deck is not even there, so maybe I'll say, I'll save this for later, and I'm done. And then I press OK over here, play my treasures. I can do this gamble if I want to, but I don't. I think I'll buy another quarry. And that is basically how the game works. There's not a lot more to show you. I mean, it plays very quickly. You'll notice over here on the side, and there's going to be, it tells you how many buys you have, how much money you have on your turn. So for example, I play here, you'll notice that the number over here changed up to 5. Actions cost 1 less, but I still can't buy that farm because this farm is not an action. It's a treasure victory point. I do love the farm. It's a great card. Now, one thing I'll notice down here in the bottom corner, you can always pull up all the kingdom cards. It shows this. This is more important for, let's say, a phone. It will show you what else is in there, and then it shows you every card here in the black market deck if you're playing with a black market deck, or if you're playing with the loots, which I love playing with, it shows you the loots. And again, this is everything. So let's go back here to the main menu. Let's pick a new game here, and for kingdoms, let's enable everything. Now you'll see when we play here, there's all kinds of stuff here. And this can be a bit overwhelming if it's your first game. You'll see we got hexes up here that are underneath that. And there's the boons. And here's the horse, which can get played. And so on and so forth. There's a whole lot of things going on. But again, it's usually going to be take the treasures, get the black market deck. Let me show you that. Again, the black market deck is a very specific type of card. Let's see, I'll buy the Herald here. And, all right, so I play the black market. There, it pulls 3 cards out of the black market. I only have 2. I play these. Now I can buy anything there. Ooh, a farm. But I also want this captain. So I buy the captain. I then end buys, and it goes in the next thing. It's very well done. There's also, over here, next to the deck on the bottom left, you'll see an undo button. Once you use undo button, you can no longer get achievements. Not like I care about achievements, but sometimes I might accidentally drag the wrong card or something like that, but it lets you undo something. Like here, on my last turn, I could have bought another copper. Seems like a bad idea, but you can do that. So that is basically how the game works. It plays very smoothly. I have yet to have the system crash on me. Like I said, you can go here. You can see the rules for each of the different base game here, or you can see the rules for the expansions, like how does debt work, how does split piles work, and allies, how to liaisons and allies, and there's more split piles there. So you have those rules. There's also, if we go back to the, let's see, settings, there's some basic settings for animation and some advanced stuff. If I go, let's see, if I go over here, let's go back to the main menu. You can go to the store. Now I have everything here, but you'll be able to buy things. You'll be able to buy the promo packs. And then it shows some of the other games that this company has made, which I have played here. I've not played Roll for the Galaxy, but I played Race for the Galaxy and Shards of Infinity, and both of them have been great. You can go online to play online. I can create a game myself. I can make a private game for people. I can go to the lobby. You can see some people playing games here. Or I can do some matchmaking for some quick play. So you can pick someone to play with. And because the game is fairly popular, you're going to be able to find people to play with as we go through. So that's a little bit about how the game works. You're going to have fun maybe exploring it and seeing. I can't show you every edge case because there's about 700 quadrillion of them. But that's a little bit about how the game works. Okay, well, I've been playing this a lot. I must have played this app. Actually, I can look at my stats. I think I played it 25 times or something, full games of it. I've actually played, I get a kick out of playing against myself. I pass and play with myself because I put out the 10 cards and I'll try 2 different strategies.
Okay.
to see
Just
which
to
one
practice,
works.
you mean?
Yeah, just a full round and mess with it.
Okay.
'Cause the
You're
computer-
not really playing against yourself, like you're not.
No, I mean I whoop myself all the time.
Do you also lose, though?
Like all the time?
It's crushing defeats.
Crushing defeats all the time, also.
No, but okay. So a lot of things to talk about. First of all, I am amazed that they have all these expansions working. If you
I agree with that. That's insanity. There was no good reason to dump it all on people at the same time, especially when you're like, hey, Dominion is finally out. Yay, $100, please. And you can have all this stuff.
well, the good news is the base app is free.
Yeah, which is fantastic.
Although I got the base app first, and I played a couple games of that, and I was bored a little bit because I played so much of it in real life.
Sure.
And there's only 25 cards in that base game, and there's 15 expansions with another,
Yes.
hundreds of cards, and I missed that. And adding in just a few expansions just puffs it up. So you don't need to get all 15. I know they have a bundle deal to get them all, which if you want them, that's great. But you can also pick and choose, which is
Sure.
what I would do, I think.
Yes.
I feel like for a digital format like this, I feel like the pricing is high, like per expansion, because you can buy a big box expansion for $9.99, I think, and then the small box ones like the Cornucopias and the Alchemies are $4.99. That feels a bit pricey for a digital format app. I know that.
Yes. I agree with that 100%. I mean, it is rare that I get an app on iOS anyway, and many of them are $9.99, and I'm like, this is an upper level app. This is an app I expect from a good developer for a tried and true game. This is a top of the line app, and that's for the main game. You then sell me an expansion for that amount of money for $10? That's clearly expensive, I think.
This is where I disagree, though. I get comparatively, I'll easily drop $10 on something that doubles the content of the base game. Or, I mean, when you have
That's
one.
fine.
And
We're talking about comparing it to other applications of these games.
I know, but I'm just saying, I think for me, if I'm going to pay $50 on a tiered A video game, well, I guess they're like $70 now, right? But whatever. I would be okay with buying the base game and you don't have to buy the base game, but the base game and 5 expansions, or let's say 6, I get 2 of the small ones. That's going to give me 100 hours of playtime.
Sure.
I think that we're looking at it from that perspective. It don't bother me at all.
It's your mindset, right?
Yeah.
And that's where, from an app-to-app game, Terra Mystica is a $9.99 app, right? And it feels odd to say Seaside is $9.99. But when you think about how many increases of combinations you have just from adding 1 to 2 expansions, you could play those things a lot and just be perfectly fine with it. As reviewers, we have access to every one of those apps, or every one of those expansions, and it's almost overwhelming because you look at a randomized set and you're like, okay, Night Phase is added. We have Coffers and Villager. Okay, there's this thing, right? So the game is played better, I think, with 2 expansions, or like base and 1 expansion or 2 in a set at the same time.
You can also play with those presets that they built, which is a good idea.
That's a good idea, yeah. But I think I agree with you, Chris, that curating, even if you own it all, kind of curating the game you're going into, so it's not just like, hit me, you know what I mean? It's going to give you a better feeling, ultimately. I'm glad it's all in there. I personally, and this is meaningless, but I think personally it would have been better for the longevity of the app to come out with the base game and the first 2 expansions or whatever, and in a month, an announcement that the next one's out. And maybe a month after that, the next one's out. I think that's a better way to support the app. Unmatched is doing it, rocking it.
Now, I do like, though, I think that the tutorials are great. I don't remember how favors work. I mean, I played Dominion a ton, but when I first pressed that button and said randomize everything, I was like, wait, what? I didn't remember, because I don't play with everything like that. Even in my own collection here at the Dice Tower Studios, we have a couple expansions in a box, and you play that. But I like all of it. I also like the things you can do. You can say, I don't want any attacks. I am slowly going through and picking cards that I never want to play with.
Sure.
I'm just building up a whole thing of that.
Torturer's out.
Yeah, for sure. And Saboteur, things like that. They're out, the Possession or whatever. Or Alchemy.
Yes,
I just turn off Alchemy in general. But I can do that, and I like that a lot. I like that it should go in there. I like that you can say, I want some +2 actions. The only thing it doesn't do, and maybe I just haven't figured out how to do it yet, it doesn't have some evenizer button that I always, whenever I play Dominion, I call semi-random. I pull out some cards, and we put them out there, and I'm like, there's too many 5s.
Oh, I see.
And this game, I can't figure out how to do it. And I definitely have played games where like 7 out of the 10 cards cost 5. And that changes the dynamic of the game a lot. And maybe some people are like, that's interesting, but I find the game to be more interesting when there's a 2 through 5,
Sure.
spread between those, like there's 1, 2, 3 3s, 3 4s, and 5s. I don't know.
right.
It does, but something like that. And I don't know, I haven't found a way to press a button to do that. I mean, other than you just picking one of the suggested sets.
Sure.
Or you make your own set. That's a minor quibble, but I have noticed every once in a while I'll put on a game, I'll draw 2 at the beginning, I'll get the 2-5 split, and 2, and there's nothing that costs 2, and I'm like, wait, there's nothing even that costs, there's one card that costs 3. It's this kind of game.
Yeah. That's an interesting thing. That could be an update, that they could push out. And yeah, I agree. But as far as what you can customize, how you can sort of massage the experience to be what you want it to be, it's very robust.
It's surprising.
I mean, it's amazing everything they thought of. Removing the attacks, that's pretty obvious, you know what I mean? I would expect to think of that myself, but just the include whole set, but accept this card, and all that manipulation is very welcome, I thought.
Well, the things, too, like you mentioned, like always force a +2 action card in the set. That's a thing Dominion players are always on the lookout. That's the first thing that a lot of Dominion players look at and go, okay, there's no +2 actions, so therefore I have to blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times when I've played, I've been like, we set up a random 10, semi-random, like, yoink, replacing it with this one.
Right.
This app kind of caters so well to very experienced Dominion players.
I also love in the app the fact that I can be playing while the computer opponent's playing, or while your opponent's playing.
Yeah.
It's such a weird feeling. They're like playing, and honestly, unless there's attack cards in, I don't really care what they're doing. I mean, I'm watching to see if they buy a province, right?
Sure.
Did you buy a province? No. But they're
Or if
playing.
they run a deck out or something, yeah.
But you can start playing cards.
I know, that's a really weird, that threw me off very much when I noticed they were still going, but it said, like, play. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, I gotta wait, right? No, you can just kind of start going right now. That's...
Because the computer says nothing they're doing is affecting you, so you can go. That's cool.
It is pretty interesting. It takes a little getting used to that, but that's pretty cool.
I think that there is a lot of decisions in this particular app that are streamlined and are good for experienced Dominion players. I wonder how it would be to come in completely new to this.
Yeah.
Play just the base game.
No,
first
just
of
like
all.
you've never played.
That's what I'm saying. Play just the base game.
But I wonder, I think Chris is alluding to here that this is an app that feels like it caters to Dominion pros. People who have played tons of it don't want to sit around and wait because they know it doesn't matter. So the app is like, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Right.
You want the +2 action cards to definitely show up? Yeah. Boom. It does feel like it caters to that crowd, which is very interesting. And maybe thinking of it from that point of view, the $9.99 expansions isn't so crazy because they're like, it's Dominion. I mean, I'll pay $20 each.
Right.
It's my favorite game of all time, and I've played it 1,000 times.
All the expansions are out right now. I'm an experienced Dominion player. I don't want just the first 3 boxes.
Correct.
Give me everything, right?
I think that's kind of what it's going for.
Right. If you were to come into this completely new to Dominion, I think it'd be weird to watch the computer taking its turn. My animations are set to slow speed in the menu.
Do you? I want the fastest. Can you make them faster?
Well, I just haven't changed it because I still look at the computer going, ba 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 ba. Change these things out. This phase is activated. Villagers to respond. Blah blah blah. Right. That's on the slow speed.
See, I play with Jason, so I'm used to someone doing that sort of stuff. Have you played against like high-level Dominion players? They actually literally play that way.
Yes, but once again, I'm talking about the first-timer experience.
For sure.
Right? I think the first-timer experience would be a bit overwhelming. So play with simpler cards. But to offset that, the app has those set-by-set tutorials that I think is really brilliant. To be like, hey, when you play with these cards, you have a sideboard. It's not really in the app. You don't see a sideboard. That's what these little things here on the side next to your character name are. Right. These are coffers. These are money you can spend on future turns. These are villagers. This is your player mat that you've put an island onto. There's a lot of weird stuff in Dominion.
Well, we've also seen this stuff come out over 16 years. I've only, this is like, if this is your first time, it's like, learn it all at once.
And you shouldn't. I really don't think you should. If you are interested in this app, download it and play it. But
I think that's smart to give it out for free, though.
I agree. That's a really good move. You can just play the app, and then if you're into it, you can get the expansions. And I don't know, again, how many people out there have not played Dominion at all, and they want to try it on the app first. But if you haven't and you want to, it's a great way to do that. It's fantastic that it does let you sample one of the greatest modern games of all time for free, and it does a pretty good job. But it's going to throw you off a little bit because I do think it caters to very much, pros of the game. That whole play while the computer's going, just weird. It's just weird. Mm-hmm. It doesn't happen in any other game. Yeah. It's great. We love it. We like it because we know it doesn't matter, but it might throw you off a little bit. I do like when it puts the options on the side of the screen. I like the way that works out. I like the playing a card that lets you do, like, pick two of these things, plus one card, plus one action. And they just kind of, like, give you nice, discrete boxes on the side. I really like the way they handle that.
Yes.
I think it's very clean and very well done. That is very new, sort of user-friendly, I thought.
Also user-friendly, thank you very much for giving us a back button. An undo button. And they'll be like, you can't get achievements. I don't care. But sometimes you throw the card out and you're like, oh, I missed that phase. And when you play another player, you can pick the level of how strict you want to be about that. Yeah. Like, does it give no new information? Then, of course, you can take it back or take anything back. I don't know that I would play that way, but when I'm playing against the computer, sometimes, especially when you're learning something for the first time, I play so fast. I'll play an action card, and then I play the next action card, and that was the card I was discarding for the first action card. I didn't realize that.
Yes.
Then I'm like, I didn't mean to do that. Undo. You hear that, Terraforming Mars? An undo button. It's great.
Every app developer, please. Yeah.
It's kind of wild that some don't have it. Yeah, I understand that revealing new information. You're like, well, come on, we already drew the card or showed you the whatever, but
sometimes there's not new information.
Yeah, you can just let me. I pressed the wrong thing. Let me undo that.
Yeah, but the fact that this one still lets you do. Oh, I accidentally played this out of order and I drew two cards. Undo button, and then, like you said, the little notification says you're not going to get honor stats and stuff. I don't care. Undo, please.
Right. Yeah, let me play for fun.
Now, you're playing this on the phone, right?
I am.
How do you feel about that? Because I would never.
On an Android phone.
Stop. I'm already getting accused.
We will rise.
As it is. No, but for me, the iPad is like perfect for this thing. It's just like I can see all the cards.
It is. I haven't really compared it to the iPad, right? Is the lineup that you see, the 10 cards, do you only see the pictures and the names? Mm-hmm. It is kind of like reduced information, right?
You can press one button and every card shows up on the screen like this. Yeah. It's great.
It doesn't bother me playing on a phone screen. I also have the benefit of having played this game for over a decade, so I have so many of the cards memorized.
Again, I think it is that sort of friendly to people that know it.
Right.
If you are someone playing for the first time, you're going to have to, there's going to be a lot of like touch, hold, read. The next one. Wait, what did that do again? There's going to be a lot of that.
Yeah, but there is that button that makes all of them show, so if I need to read 3 different cards.
But does that work on the phone?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Everything's smaller, right? But it's good. For me, the interface is really well done, even on a smaller screen. Yes, you touch hold, the full card shows up. It's not that big, but familiarity goes a long way, right? Yeah. That would be the bigger hesitation. If you're a brand new player playing on a small screen, you're going to be doing a lot of this.
The thing is, at the end of the day, or at least I feel like I'm doing all these caveats about it's really for experienced players. If you're new, beware. But also, there's zero risk for you.
Yes.
The app is free. You can just try basic Dominion with the basic cards. Just try it out. You know what I mean? If you don't like it, if you find it annoying you can't read all the cards all the time, or if you don't like, I don't know, maybe you don't like those things popping up on the side, nothing lost, you know?
What would you rate the app?
I really liked it. I thought it was solid. It's very well done. It's I still think that it was kind of weird to kind of, again, drop it all at once like that. I think it might be a little intimidating. And I can't help but come at it from the point of view of somebody who is new and trying it and opens it up and, downloads it for free, which is great, and then goes, oh my gosh. There's a lot here that I'm terrified of. I think I would be for a game I don't know. Having said all that, I think it's really solid. I'm giving it a strong 8 out of 10. You should try it. If you've played Dominion, you know what you're getting. And if you never have, this is the way to do it. You can just download it and play it.
Do you think this will ruin our Dominion playing?
I hope it does, guys.
Because I stopped playing Ascension
You
when
put
it came out on the app.
Oh, yeah.
Dominion's not as easier to... Anyway, I don't know. What's your rating?
I'm giving this one a 9, right? And I'm trying to separate the fact that Dominion is in my top 10 games of all time, right? The game's the game. I've already played the game, right? But as an app, as something that allows me to play one of my favorite games more freely, it does that very well. And to not backpedal too much, but like we're talking about how it's very much catered towards very experienced players. Mm-hmm. I'm that. I love it. I absolutely adore it. I would love to hear what it is like for a first-timer to just download it and play just the base, to watch the tutorials and stuff, because Dominion is one of those games that is almost better taught than read from a rule book, right? If you've never...
ABCD. Gotcha.
Right. And so I think that having a digital tutorial like this could be good, and then it is still welcoming enough, right? But they also did a very good job of catering to people like me. So, yeah, for me, it's a 9.
Well, I've been yelling about this for years. This is like my most anticipated app of all time.
Right.
So I'm glad. I'm also giving it a 9. I really like it. I give the game a 10. And my rating has to include how much I like the game. I love this game.
Sure.
And I love the fact that I can press a button, but also I love the fact that I can say, I want to play with Black Market. I always play with Black Market if I can. And it can do that. Or sometimes I'll come across a card and go, I want to play that with that card again, but with something different. Sometimes I'm like, I want to play Throne Room this game and just double an action. I don't know, whatever. Sure. I can do that. And I really enjoy that. So I'm having a great time playing it. The minor things, like I said, I wish there was a way to spread the numbers out. I wish there was a bit more pizzazz. Like, there's one card I played that like gave an evil laugh. I forget which card it was. And I was like, oh, that's cool. I wish more cards did that, to be fair. The artwork in Dominion is boring.
It is an evil laugh in and of itself. You got Pearl Diver.
I feel it's just like one of the, like, it was like evil Charlton or whatever. But also the art in Dominion, which has always been its weakest point, and I love it, is very much noticeable here. Especially when you make me pick one of those ugly characters to be me.
It's front and center, yes.
Thanks, man. So I wish that there had been, like, I don't know, maybe some animation, some cool stuff thematic-wise. That's very minor. I'm glad it works. I haven't yet had it crash on me, which is good. I'm sure I will at some point.
It's very stable, yes.
Yeah, and so, to me, very, very positive. So check it out. Like we said, you can do it for free.
Yeah.
So that's the Dominion app. Thanks for watching. I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Chris Yee.
I'm Zee Garcia.
Have fun playing forever.
Village.